Two new Tomb Raider games have been confirmed, one to be released in 2026 and the other in 2027. With this, we got two new trailers, one for Tomb Raider Catalyst and the other for Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis. In the trailers, there is action, Lara Croft herself, and loads of other things. In this video, I will be going over some of the details that you may have missed on these trailers. So, let's get into it. Starting with Tomb Raider Catalyst, right at the start of the trailer, we see an old friend. That's right, there he is chilling with some stolen supplies. It is very likely that this is the monkeys from the start of Tomb Raider 3. They have made a return. The reason I believe this is because you are in the same area of India, and if you actually take a look at the monkey there, it looks up at Lara, just as if it is a familiar face. Moving on, we get a scene where we see Lara's entire arsenal on the table. This has given us an idea of some of the weapons potentially that you'll be able to use on the game. As we can see, there is a bow and arrow, which does slightly remind me of the Survivor trilogy. We can also see her backpack, and of course the iconic dual pistols. There is then a new weapon or object that is teased, which we see later on is actually some kind of grappling hook, which will most likely play a big part in the mechanics and traversal that Lara will be doing on this game. Up next, we are given a glimpse into what the gameplay and enemies are actually going to look like. Much like the more modern Tomb Raider games, it looks like there's going to be a heavy focus on human enemies. We also see who may be potentially the main villain of this game. We then see some of the mechanics that the new grappling hook can do, such as disabling lights and flinging Lara forward in combat to do some kind of special move. On the first glimpse of Lara, we see that she does look akin to more of the modern Tomb Raider games. Her outfit is slightly different though, with her wearing some kind of red necker, which we haven't seen before. And there is confirmation here of the dual pistols, once again, being a part of her main weaponry. As the trailer continues, the area they are in begins falling down, and we're greeted with some of the more platforming elements. However, this does just seem like a cutscene, rather than one of them interactive cutscenes that were typical in Tomb Raider Anniversary and Underworld, for example. One thing I did spot here was Lara is actually wearing what seems to be an earpiece. This might indicate that, like in Tomb Raider Underworld and Legend, that there is going to be someone speaking to her, guiding her through some of the missions and tutorial areas. To me, this is evidence of some new characters, and perhaps shows that Lara won't be tackling these missions all on her own. The final scene then shows rocks that seem to be rising from the ground. This tells me that, in much typical Tomb Raider fashion, there is going to be some supernatural entities at work that probably command great power. We see Lara on one of these rocks, and further confirms that she is still going to be that explorer who has the courage and tenacity to keep on going until she finds the prize. Up next was my favourite trailer out of the two, Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis. This game and trailer looks to somehow pay homage and be reminiscent of the original Tomb Raider 1. From this shot alone, we can see that Lara looks to be wearing the typical outfit that she's known for, which is always good to see in modern Tomb Raider games. There is then this shot here, which shows, yes, indeed, this is Lara's typical outfit, even down to the white trimming on the boots. The area here looks huge, and maybe supports that this Tomb Raider may be somewhat of an open world experience. We then have this shot here, and this to me looks like very similar to the end of Tomb Raider 1's caves, with the darts going left to right and you needing to open the big door to finish the level, with the image on the final door looking very much like the artifacts you need to pick up on the level of City Vilcabamba. This to me is further evidence that this Tomb Raider is going to be very similar in terms of level progression and story mode to that of Tomb Raider 1 and even Anniversary. The artwork and design here is obviously beautiful. It looks like there are two blue cogs that somehow open the door, hinting at how the puzzle for this specific door needs to be solved. The scene then continues and we get the first glimpse of Lara on this Tomb Raider. And oh my, what is that she's wearing around her neck? That is her pendant that she found at one of her father's archaeological digs when she was 5 years old. But here's the catch. That was on the Survivor trilogy. This is directly indicating that the timelines are now officially unified. To see whether this will make any impact on gameplay or storyline in the game itself, well, we're just going to have to wait and see. We are then shown some more of the mechanics that will be part of this game, including swinging on ropes and kicking cogs. And then we also get to this bit where we can see what actually to me looks like a dead crocodile. Potentially this is going to be one of the enemies in the game. It's just a little something I saw when watching the trailer. Anyway, this is clearly the level of Lost Valley, where we get to see new and graphically improved dinosaurs, including the Velociraptor. We are then shown what is the tiniest snippet of combat, and to me is actually a quite big telltale sign on one of the mechanics. It looked like that she's doing the slow motion critical attack, much like you see on Tomb Raider Anniversary, where she slows down, takes aim, and then does a big damage shot. I'm going to be completely honest here, I wasn't too sure how I felt about this, because to me that makes it seem too much look and feel of the LAU trilogy that we've already had, and I really hope that they do keep this Tomb Raider unique and of its own flavour, rather than sort of reverting back entirely to what we've already experienced. The trailer then pushes on, and I can only assume this level is Tomb of Qualopec by the boulder that we see coming down. So it seems like in the trailer, the levels that were shown were all of the Peru levels. So Caves, Vilcabamba, Lost Valley, and Tomb of Qualopec. As the trailer goes on, we then see the iconic dinosaur fight of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Or, should I say, as it was intended to be, the Allosaurus, which is what they initially wanted this dinosaur to be. And they've actually now graphically updated it to reflect an Allosaurus rather than a Tyrannosaurus Rex. A small but critical change in my opinion if they are going to go back to this Tomb Raider 1 game. The scene then zooms out, and if we pause it at these specific times, we can first see what looks like the temple entrance of the city of Vilcabamba level. And then we can also see the darts that are protecting that door, which is reminiscent of Caves. And then finally, we see the entrance to the door from the level of Caves, right at the start of level 1. And that is all from me. That is every little detail I saw out of these two trailers. Please leave a comment down below if there's anything that I missed and should cover in future videos. As always, like and subscribe, hype up the video, and I will catch you next time.